Right now, without even thinking about it, you know exactly what time it is. You glanced at your phone this morning the second you woke up. Maybe you checked it again before you got out of bed. It's just a reflex at this point, completely automatic. But here's what I want you to think about for a second. That reflex, that ability to know the exact time at any moment, took humanity 4,000 years to make possible. 4,000 years of problem-solving, failed experiments, and one question that every single civilization in history was obsessed with answering. What time is it? And the story of how we answered that question, honestly, is one of the most fascinating journeys in human history. It starts in ancient Egypt, around 2000 BC. Now, the Egyptians were running a genuinely complex society, massive construction projects, agricultural cycles that had to be timed perfectly with the flooding of the Nile, religious ceremonies that needed to happen at exact moments. To manage any of that, you need to know what time it is. So they looked up at the sky and built the world's first clock, the sundial. The concept was beautifully simple, a flat stone platform with a straight rod standing upright in the center. As the sun moved across the sky, that rod cast a shadow onto the platform, and the position of that shadow told you the time. Morning, long shadow stretching west; noon, almost no shadow at all; afternoon, long shadow stretching east. It worked. It was brilliant for its time, but it had one obvious, frustrating flaw. The moment clouds rolled in, useless. At night, completely useless. For roughly half of every single day, the most advanced timekeeping technology in the world just didn't work. So people started getting creative. Over in ancient China, Buddhist monks came up with something genuinely clever, the incense clock. A specially crafted incense stick designed to burn at a perfectly consistent rate. The whole stick might take 12 hours to burn completely. Monks would carve small markings along its length like a ruler to track shorter time intervals. But the smartest version had tiny metal bells hidden inside, attached to thin threads at specific points along the stick. When the burning flame crept down to one of those threads, the thread burned through, the bell dropped into a metal bowl below, and you'd hear a clear ringing sound. That was your alarm, telling you exactly how much time had passed, even in total darkness, even while you slept. Meanwhile, the ancient Greeks were solving the same problem with water. They called it the clepsydra, the water clock. Two clay pots, one positioned above the other. Water dripped steadily through a small hole in the upper pot into the lower one. As the water level in the lower pot rose, markings on the side told you the time. The Greeks actually used this in their courts. Lawyers were given a fixed amount of water. When it ran out, you sat down. No exceptions. Time was up. Then came the hourglass. Same idea, but with sand instead of water. Sand doesn't evaporate, doesn't freeze, works perfectly on a ship in the middle of the ocean. Medieval sailors lived by the hourglass. Every 30 minutes, one sailor's only job was to flip it. Miss the flip, and your navigation calculations were off. In open ocean, that kind of mistake could cost everyone their lives. But all of these, the sundial, the incense, the water, the sand, they all shared the same fundamental problem. They needed constant human attention, someone always watching, always refilling, always flipping. What people really needed was a clock that could just run on its own. The 1300s, medieval Europe, and someone figured out how to build exactly that, the mechanical clock. No sun, no water, no fire, just gears. Heavy stone weights hung from chains inside a tower. As gravity pulled them slowly downward, they turned a system of gears. Those gears moved the clock hands. The real genius was a component called the escapement mechanism, a controlled brake that allowed the gears to advance just one precise step at a time. Click, pause, click, pause. That rhythmic clicking is literally where the word clockwork comes from, and it's where TikTok was born. These first mechanical clocks were enormous, room-sized machines installed in church towers. Ordinary people couldn't own one. The whole town shared one clock. But then the Renaissance arrived, and someone replaced those giant stone weights with a tiny coiled spring. Wind it up, and as it slowly uncoiled, it powered the entire mechanism. Suddenly, a clock could fit in your pocket. European rulers started sending pocket watches as diplomatic gifts to kings across Asia and Africa. A clock could open doors that armies couldn't. It was technology as power, and it worked.
Then, in 1656, a Dutch scientist named Christian Huygens changed everything. He built the pendulum clock, using the observation that a swinging pendulum always takes the exact same time to complete one full swing, regardless of how far it swings. The accuracy difference was staggering. The best clocks before Huygens drifted by 15 minutes every single day. The pendulum clock, just 15 seconds, 60 times more accurate overnight. For the first time ever, people could actually trust their clocks. Then the 1880s arrived. Railways were spreading rapidly across Europe and North America, and they exposed a problem nobody had anticipated. Every town ran on its own local time, based on the sun directly overhead, which was fine when nobody traveled fast, but trains moved fast. When it was noon in London, it was 11:55 in Bristol and 12:08 in Manchester. Scheduling became a nightmare. Trains ended up in the wrong places. Collisions happened. So, in 1884, 41 nations gathered in Washington, D.C. and divided the Earth into 24 standard time zones. Greenwich, England became the reference point, 0, Greenwich Mean Time. For the first time in history, time became a global system. Every nation synchronized, and the entire modern world was built on top of that agreement. In 1904, the first modern wristwatch arrived. Men initially refused to wear them, considered feminine jewelry. Real men had pocket watches. That attitude lasted exactly until World War I. In the trenches, pulling a pocket watch from your jacket could get you killed. Soldiers strapped watches to their wrists instead. Commanders quickly realized synchronized wristwatches could coordinate attacks across miles of chaotic battlefield without any communication at all. Time became a weapon of war. When soldiers came home wearing wristwatches, the stigma vanished overnight. By the 1930s, pocket watches were antiques. Then came 1967, and the most accurate clock ever built, the atomic clock. Every atom in the universe vibrates at its own specific frequency. Scientists discovered that cesium-133 atoms vibrate exactly 9,122,631,770 times every single second. That number never changes, ever. An atomic clock will not gain or lose one single second in 300 million years. And this isn't just a scientific curiosity. Your GPS navigation, your bank transactions, your internet connection, air traffic control, power grids, all of it depends on atomic clocks running silently in the background. You've never seen one, but your entire modern life runs on them. Today's smartwatch doesn't just tell time, it monitors your heart rate, tracks your sleep, measures your blood oxygen, counts your steps, and can even detect heart irregularities before you feel a single symptom. The clock that started as a shadow on a stone is now a personal health companion on your wrist. A shadow, fire, dripping water, falling sand, iron gears, a coiled spring, a swinging pendulum, the heartbeat of a single atom. 4,000 years, one question. And underneath it all, the same truth that every civilization instinctively understood. Time is the one thing you genuinely cannot get back. The Egyptians knew it, the monks knew it, the soldiers checking their synchronized watches before dawn absolutely knew it. The clock is ticking, right now. What are you going to do with it?